Okay, who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
First topic that we're going to get into is World War Hulk, and there's been a lot of people talking about. Obviously, World War Hulk has been discussed and talked about for a while now. A lot of people have been talking about is it something that Marvel is ever going to do. Mark Ruffalo himself in the past has said no, it's never going to happen. I believe Universal still owns the rights to Hulk. I believe they do. But with the current, well, before we even get into that, Variety did interview Ruffalo, and Ruffalo had this to say, where he said there has been some conversation about what happened in the 2 years where Hulk abandoned Banner and the Avengers on Sakaar, and the emergence of Smart Hulk, which hasn't ever fully been answered. I think maybe we're giving 4 sentences to that time period since then. It's really an interesting, exciting part of Hulk's story and Banner's story. Then he goes on to say, I don't think that the trip to Sakaar is a good place to start, and what that means to the idea of what fans have been asking for, the idea of a Planet Hulk or World War Hulk, or just the journey that Banner and Hulk have. Oh, I was like, what the fuck was that? Sorry. Just the journey that Banner and Hulk, where was I at? Have to come to peace with each other. Ruffalo said that's really interesting to me, and I do feel like there's some interest in exploring that down the line. Now, he has talked again. That's coming from Variety, and that was in a recent interview there. And we know that from rumors that were swirling back in, I believe that was in June, that we may be seeing Savage Hulk revert back to himself in the MCU after She-Hulk. So if that's something that they can do, and we got, even the rumor of Scar showing up at the end of the show or something like that going on. But, I guess my question is, because, some people believe, a lot of people believe that Thor Ragnarok was the miled down, very dumbed down, very shrunken down MCU version of World War Planet Hulk. And I guess my question is, do you really believe that the MCU, the current MCU, where we currently are in the MCU, with the current heroes that are in the MCU, how do you accurately, and I know that the comics are the comics, the movies are the movies. I mean, look at Civil War, look at Logan, look at Infinity War, look at Age of Ultron. They're all vastly different from the comics. They're just adaptations. I get that. But how do you do, I mean, before I even ask you that question, for those of you that don't know, if you're not familiar with the World War Hulk story, he was betrayed, he was backstabbed by the Earth's mightiest heroes and ultimately the Illuminati. They blasted his ass into space to just go land on wherever the fuck, because they didn't care. Right. He landed on Sakaar, where he fought where he was then enslaved, and then fought his way from enslavement, fighting and defeating the Red King to becoming the ruler of Sakaar, then finding the love of his life, then to think what he thought, to be betrayed again to be betrayed again by the Illuminati, because his ship that they blasted him off in had a nuclear explosion, killing everyone around him, including his wife. So then he comes back to Earth, because he's like, oh no, somebody's gonna fucking pay for this shit. Then he then comes back to Earth, massacres everyone, and comes to a stalemate with the Sentry. And I didn't go through the list of massacres because it's many.
Yeah, he goes fucking nuts.
So I guess
he broke my nigga hands.
The question comes back to, can the MCU in the current state tell accurately World War Hulk?
No.
Do you think
they already did it?
Do you think that they do it before 2025, or do you think that they do it
They already did it.
I don't.
With who?
They already tried their little shitty little take on it. That's what he was in Ragnarok.
Well, see, and that's a deal.
They can't. It's hard for them to kind of go back.
Yes, but with him going back to Sakaar,
I just think the storyline has to be different. I don't think it can go back. I know they never do anything exact comic book source and everything, but I don't think we can get an exact World War Hulk, or even what's it called? World Breaker Hulk.
Yeah,
I mean,
Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. Though it's like and both those stories are one and the same. Like you would either have to be something that I don't know. Is it gonna be like a movie that takes place but like how they did with Black Widow? Is it gonna be a movie that takes place in between Thor Ragnarok and Infinity, or between not Infinity War, but Thor? What was before Ragnarok? Whatever's before Ragnarok. In between that film.
What Thor movie?
No,
not MCU timeline.
So whatever movie comes before Ragnarok, and
you'd have to fit in that timeline.
You would have to fit it somewhere within that timeline. But also, time moves differently on Sakaar, you know? We heard the Grandmaster say that. We know that just from the comics itself.
Right.
That's how Sakaar ages up so fast. Time is not the same. The process is not the same.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I think the main thing is kind of what Q was saying there. And kind of you mentioned too, so none of these stories have been 100% comic book accurate, right?
Right.
I think part of that has to do with the fact that it's a different medium, right? A lot of things do not directly translate the same way. Certain things in this runs play out a little differently. I mean, you could also say, this could have been better, whatever, right? My whole deal is whether they do the accurate story on Sakaar or not, they need to quit fucking around with the Hulk. Because the thing with it is the Hulk is a very beloved Marvel character because of the Hulk, not because of Bruce Banner. You know, Bruce Banner is good, compelling, and I remember when he becomes Planet Breaker Hulk. There's the moment where Banner's literally on his knees and the Hulk is standing over. They accept each other. They understand one another. Like, that's all fine and good. Like, that's what people want to see. People like the dichotomy of the character. They like him being savage and ruthless. And honestly, Hulk is one of those characters that kind of loses his shit a lot. And goes too far with things, and Banner has to deal with that, and that's why he resents the Hulk.
That's his main draw, this relationship between himself.
Right, the whole point of his story and why everyone loves him. So just to sideline all of it, give us a watered-down version in Ragnarok, and then go, oh no, he's smart now. No one fucking likes this.
Right.
And that's why I said, I think I said it earlier, did they not know? I mean, how do you not know that much of... I don't know a single person that has been like, I like what they're doing with the Hulk. No one fucking does. So either they're planning to do his story at some point, or they're just completely brain dead.
Right.
Like no pulse. They have no idea what fans even talk about. So that's my whole deal with it. Is it's wild. It's wild that you can get a character so wrong and continue to use him so much.
Right.
Because Banner is currently kind of, he's along with Wong. He's MCU in it and New Avengers in it, and he's going to be the last fucking big name.
The last time, and again, this is a conversation I still want to have wider, but the last time we saw OP Hulk was Avengers, and I'm talking 2012 Avengers. That was the last time that we really saw the Hulk be the Hulk. I mean, yes, you got Age of Ultron when he
you got Civil War a little bit when Wanda was controlling him.
Well,
or not Civil War, that's Ultron.
Yeah, you got Age of Ultron a little bit, but and then
which movie was it where go sleep?
Age of Ultron.
That was Age of Ultron. Yes, we got him there too. That was kind of the end of it.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm talking about when we always talk about how Marvel changes things at the last minute. If you remember back at that time of Age of Ultron, the rumors came out that the rumors had broken that they were going to use that as their they're going to then catapult to their World War Hulk, because that was going to be what happened. Then the Avengers were going to have to make the decision, okay, we got to get rid of Hulk because blah 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 blah. And that was how they were going to do their MCU version of it. But then they changed that because the rumors got out, blah blah blah. And I still don't think even at that time. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I do not look that up. I do not believe Universal or MCU or Marvel, has the rights to the Hulk still. I think Universal still does.
Well, I think it's crazy that, because even in which Avengers movie was it? Where
Universal currently owns.
I thought so.
Distribution rights to any movie starring Hulk or Namor in the leading role.
But when Hulk is, that's why he hasn't had a leading movie yet. But either way, which movie was it where they're in the snow, Hulk's raging, and they have to get Natalie?
That's Age of Ultron.
That is Age of Ultron. But even in that movie, they could tell it showed how little control they had over him and how concerned they were about it. But what's wild to me is they've done this for so long. I watched She-Hulk. I watched it all, never did it cross my mind, and then you sent me that picture where he's fucking stopping a spaceship. Literally, nope, I'm the Hulk, which is what the Hulk does.
Hilarious.
And she goes to hit him with the Jeep and sends him fucking flying. He can stop that shit with a finger. They've done this so long, I didn't even think about it until I saw that, and I'm like, oh, dude, not only have they cut my boy's nuts off, they have neutered my boy, but they've done it so much, I don't notice it anymore.
Just think of the opening to Age of Ultron. I mean, me and Q were talking about this a while ago, because this is when I was craving some Avengers content, so I went back and I watched one of my favorites, even though I know a lot of people say, oh, Age of Ultron is, I think Age of Ultron is great.
I do too.
But when went back and watched that opening scene with them is, because that showed, that time period from the first Avengers film to that, they had been doing stuff as a team. They had been going around trying to stop other Hydra bases, and that was established. So you see the team aspect in there. I mean, they're having a whole ass conversation. Steve Rogers and Thor having a whole ass conversation. Meanwhile, they're being shot at. Steve puts his shield up. Thor hits his hammer on it, blasts everybody. That just shows you like the teamwork there. Like
they've been working on moves together.
Bro, and that's what I was like. And then you see the shit that Hulk's doing, and who is it? I think. No. Yeah, Natasha says, "Can somebody take out that bunker?" Then Hulk comes through and takes out the bunker. It's like. That's the shit that is missing. That's the shit that's missing currently in the MCU. You miss that with Hulk. You don't that was the last time we have seen the Hulk be the Hulk. And so if they are gonna do a World War Hulk, if they do Planet Hulk or whatever, because this was also, I don't remember where this rumor came from, but this was also rumored that they were going to try to make it a 6 to 8 episode series.
I want to see it on the big screen.
It needs to be on the big screen.
I just don't see how.
I
hope they do it. I just don't see how they make it anything close to what the actual source material is.
The most least hyped, least fan-attended Marvel movie in history, let them do a movie with Smart Hulk. Like the Hulk with Smart Hulk as the fucking... No. But I promise you, if you do a movie and on the opening trailer, it's literally the Hulk wrestling it back and being like, nah, here we fucking go. Oh.
Right.
Dude, I would shit my pants and then go see that movie immediately. I would see that movie 2 or 3 fucking times. Because I've wanted that Hulk. I've wanted him to have the spotlight. He's terrible. I mean, it's the Hulk, man. Anytime you want to show somebody's a top-tier problem within Marvel Comics, you put him against the Hulk. Somehow they'll find a way to, there's like Deadpool cut his head off one time. Spider-Man's beat him once. But generally speaking... It's the Hulk, dude. I mean, I don't play games.
That's why I said, you think about the story of World War Hulk, what he goes through. He takes out the X-Men. He takes out the Fantastic Four. He takes out Doctor Strange. He takes out every single one. And then I remember when he took out Juggernaut. Juggernaut thought, well, let me get my go. No, bro. He took out everyone. Like he tossed Colossus like he was a fucking rag doll. I mean, and then it took the Sentry coming in to have a stalemate with him for it to. I mean, that was the only, and it was that's what I'm saying. None of these heroes, none of the people we just named are currently even in the MCU.
Yeah.
The X-Men aren't in the MCU. Fantastic Four aren't in the MCU. I haven't heard shit about Sentry even being talked about.
They're gonna show up, break Doctor Strange.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Who currently in the MCU could even go toe to toe with the Hulk?
Thor.
Captain Marvel.
Okay,
Thor and Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel.
Doctor Strange for sure because of the magic aspect of it. But I mean,
he just trap him in the other dimension. But it's not necessarily a winning. Like I don't know if Doctor Strange would be killing Hulk. It would definitely be like his MCU level.
Nigga, like Hulk definitely got the ability to walk up to that nigga and break his hand. It's what I've seen from my nigga Steven in the MCU. Like there's no doubt in my mind that if they brought Savage Hulk back or some shit, he would walk up to Doctor Strange and break that nigga in half.
So I'm gonna address this real quick. It's 2 comments that I want to talk about. By the way, shout out everyone in the comments. We'll definitely be getting to them after segments. But Stamina MC is saying apples to oranges. Hulk is facing down a Leviathan in Avengers 1. Equals him meeting a deadly force with an equal or greater force. Smart Hulk in front of a Jeep is him trying to make his cousin see reason, zero threat. So my thing with that is it is about the perception they are giving of the Hulk, right? So she comes at him with a Jeep. Yeah, he doesn't want to fucking smash the Jeep, hurt his cousin, do whatever, right? So you can either make him look like a complete bitch, land up on the Jeep, get thrown into a wall, or you can have him with one hand pick the fucking Jeep up and go, hey. that makes him look like the whole he's strong as shit.
Or
It doesn't
some
make
comedy
him
shit.
look-
You could have that nigga just simply like.
Yeah, just like
Like,
stopping
or-
the Jeep and then her
Like-
turning the wheel so it gets away from him for whatever, right? But it is the clowning on. There's a character, I read a lot of One Piece, there's a character that's absolutely terrifying, but no one gives a shit because they clown on her constantly. She's one of the strongest people that exists in that world, and they're constantly, she's falling downstairs, she's doing dumb shit, she gets, clowned on, and it changes your perception of a character. So there are ways you can portray it without him looking as weak as possible in every single second. And then ADCTW said Universal rights to the Hulk's about to end in June of 2023. That is good, but here's my deal with that.
But I want to get on that.
That isn't why they don't have the rights to it, right? I get it. So they're not going to do a mainstay Hulk, a feature Hulk film. But that doesn't mean you make him weak in all your side movies or all your side series and this and that. You can still have him as the Hulk, even though you don't got the rights to him, and you build up to that movie. Instead, y'all just clowning on him, and is this just your Hulk? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean. And then too, what ADCTW said. That was my next question. Do you think a film like this could even be possible? Because think about the massive size that this would have to be. Do you think a film like this could even be possible with 2025 Secret Wars Kang Dynasty coming up? Kang Dynasty is what, 2024?
Mm-hmm.
So could they even realistically do that? That's a lot of.
I don't know.
That's a lot of. That's a massive film. It's a massive film that you would have to start, and we don't know. Marvel could. We don't know what the fuck Marvel's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. I feel like Marvel doesn't really do too much that gets under the radar of scoopers that doesn't get out, but it's a lot to think about. I mean, I think it's more likely because a lot of people are saying in that he said that they are doing World War Hulk. He never said that. He said that the idea would be great of doing that. I think it realistically, I think we would see World War Hulk come to after the
Kang saga, basically.
Yes, after the Kang saga, because like I said, in order to do that story, you have to have the heroes formidable enough to even try to stand up against him. There is not one person on the current Avengers roster that if you bring World War Hulk in, realistically, you bring that character from the comic onto the screen, that can hold anything against him. None of them. No, besides Thor, maybe.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I was
you
gonna
gotta
say.
remember,
when you bring in World War Hulk, we're talking you either need Thor.
You have to remember
Silver
how rageful he is in that moment too, and he only gets stronger with the more rageful he gets.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You either need Thor, Silver Surfer, Franklin Richards. We're going to the top tiers now. We're going to the fully at his max Doctor Strange. I mean, you need top tier people to stop him.
Yeah.
I mean, that or a gimmick. Like, I know the big debate they had forever on the, what was it, like death battles and shit, right? It's Doomsday versus Hulk. Mm-hmm. Well, how he does is because Doomsday got a poison, and the poison will slowly calm him down. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Little shit like that. There's ways to do it. But yeah, no, when World War Hulk, when he comes in, it's cities burning. It is entire leagues of heroes completely murdered.
Fucking Hawkeye is one of the few niggas that can kill Hulk.
And see, that's one thing I'll praise the MCU
nigga
on.
Banner gave Hawkeye a arrow.
I will praise the MCU on this because I remember it was, I think it was Ultron. No, it might have been Age of Ultron. When they go to get Wanda, and Hawkeye pulls the arrow on Vision, and I sat there for a minute and I was like, now this is some bullshit. If they cause motherfucking Hawkeye to handle Vision and Vision shit on him, and in my head I was like, the only person in the MCU right now that could probably stop Vision is Wanda. And then she fucking puts him in the ground. And I was like, power scaling correctly. You understand who's strong here and who's not, right? But then they do this shit with Hulk. And it's like, right now I feel like fucking Miss Marvel could whoop his ass. Like, low-key, I feel like that could happen. I would not surprise me if Smart Hulk got his ass whooped by someone like that.
I mean, the last thing I'll say about it is you look at, no matter how shitty some might think that the 2007-2008 version is, you look at Hulk there. You take the thunderclap that he did against Doomsday, and people saying, Right. Well, whatever. You take the thunderclap against why the fuck did I say Doomsday?
Abomination.
Abomination. That fight, although you go back and look at it now, those CGI is terrible. That fight though was a great fight. You see Hulk. You see the power.
No, that scene, those scenes we went back and watched, even where he just threw that nigga into the tree, bro.
I'm ready. I'm assuming everyone, even in the chat, is ready for Savage Hulk to come back. I mean, just the whole thing with Smart Hulk and She-Hulk just makes me like, it's just like, it's so, I hate it. But
I just thought it was like a little cameo thing, man.
Right.
I really did. Like, I just thought it was like a little temporary thing they did so he could figure out how to use the gauntlet, but also have a little strength in him, maybe. I don't know. I didn't think that shit was perma.
I low-key thought it was for,
they just didn't know what to do with him.
Oh, I thought it was an intentional need, a necessity to sideline him. Because, let's also be clear on something. Banner and the Hulk bicker a lot. They have fights. They have feuds. I mean, they're two personalities living in one body, right? They're like a fucking old married couple sometimes. They don't get along. Hulk thinks Banner is weak and pathetic and puny little Banner, where Banner is terrified of Hulk. And what he does as Hulk and this and that. So there are feud moments, and I could handle a Smart Hulk at a different small junction, whatever, if they explain it right. But like, you're just doing this to sideline the dude, and I don't think it works.
Right.
When like, I mean, because my deal, and this is what confuses me, if they were gonna sideline someone because they're too powerful or whatever, right? That happens in fiction. It's fine. But you gave Thor Stormbreaker. Thor came down, lit up an entire army like it was nothing, and then killed Thanos. Well, didn't go for the neck, but you know what I'm saying, right? Thanos with stones was not a fucking issue to him. So why'd you have to make Hulk weaker? Why'd you have to nerf him? That's what I don't get.
I mean, but here's the thing on that: the Russo brothers have answered that. They just did not know what to do with him. That's why they did it. They had no idea what to do with him, so they just.
I would have rather them niggas blip that nigga.
They made that happen. So I mean,
would
but
rather him stayed in fucking
as
space.
always,
I was about to say,
the
they
question
should've
is
kept
for
that.
the viewers out there. What do you guys think? Are you guys ready for? Do you guys think that the rumors are true? Do you think after She-Hulk we are going to be moving into a World War Hulk either series or movie? That is the rumor out there currently. That is going to be a 6 to 8 episode series. But do you think that it should be a theatrical film? How do you think that it should be told? Do you think that in this current state of the MCU that story could even be told? Would you want to see a adaptation of that film? Let us know down below in the comments. And